All right. Hey, you guys. Welcome to the Powwow Classroom. I am recording this, so you guys will have a copy of today's free Q&A inspirACTION session. So I wanted to welcome you guys to the first series, and I have your mics on mute. You're welcome to take yourself off of webcam if you'd like, or keep it on there so I can see your beautiful faces. So we have in the classroom right now Nicole, Jenny, and Jessica. So hi, you guys. Thanks for joining. Can you guys hear me okay? Thumbs up. All right, awesome. Hi, Courtney. Welcome. Okay, so you guys are not on mute right now, so feel free to interact as we go. I wanted to very quickly explain, I'm not sure if any of you are new to the Powwow Classroom, but down on the right-hand corner, you'll see a class chat option. So you're welcome to use that throughout today's Q&A. And what I wanted to do was basically offer each of you the opportunity to ask one question each today. It can be about anything, health-related, fitness, nutrition, parenting. I often get a lot of questions about being an entrepreneur and starting a business. So whatever you have today, just so we can not go really far on time, I wanted to offer up each of you the option to ask one question. And then I'm going to leave you today with an inspirACTION challenge to start off the month. So this series, Q and inspirACTION, I started actually on YouTube last month, I guess it was, and had a ton of questions coming into the Facebook wall that I couldn't really address in a short YouTube video. So I thought it'd be better to be able to interact with you guys and have better engagement and bring you into the classroom and ask them live. So I'm really excited you joined me. I wanted to time this at the start of the month because I love fresh starts. I love September, or the idea of the first of the month, and just really being conscious of how you're going to be spending your time through the next month. And that's what I'm going to talk about at the end of today. So I think that's it. I think you guys are pretty comfortable with the classroom here. So I'm going to open it up and we'll just go ahead and get started. And if somebody asks a question similar to what you were going to ask, go ahead and comment through the class chat and then think up another question. I'm sure we'll just let this keep rolling and see where we go. So I'm just going to start off with Jenny. If you want to take yourself or put yourself on the webcam, feel free. If not, you should be able to use your laptop mic to ask the question, and I'll repeat the question in case the others in the class cannot hear you. I'll give you a second to try that out. If not, you can use the class chat option. So go ahead, Jenny. Okay. Okay, so Jenny doesn't have a webcam. She's going to use the class chat option. So I'll give her a moment to type in her question. All right, here we go. So Jenny said, just becoming a vegan, more plant-based options, dot, dot, dot. Do you have any go-to recipes that are your fave? Oh, I love this question. So those of you that have known me or been following me through HolFit for a while know I've been a vegetarian for almost 10 years. I was a vegan for 5. And just recently I started to add some animal-based proteins back into my diet. Basically because I have 2 girls and it was getting really hard to feed them sprouted lentils and things like that. So myself, I personally love the plant-based approach to eating. I have always felt really great on it. I think you need to do it smartly to make sure that you are feeling great and covering your nutritional basis. So I'll talk about that with this question as well. Some of my go-to recipes for plant-based options would be anything with healthy vegetarian sources of protein. Stay away from the fake meats. They're bad, okay? So fake meats are very highly processed soy products. And one thing you need to understand about soy is it's one of the most genetically modified crops in the world. And with that comes heavy processing, not good for your body, and not a healthy alternative to meat. So whatever your reasons are in becoming vegan or more plant-based, whether they're compassionate reasons and a love for animals, or because you are actually seeking to have a more nutritious diet, it's important to not fall into that trap of these processed substitutions. So basically, you're thinking about protein and healthy fats. So legumes are a very common choice in vegetarian diets. I'm a big fan of making your own. So buying beans in bulk at the grocery store and cooking them at home. I will often do this once a week or even once a month. I'll do a huge batch cooking of legumes. And when I say that, I mean black beans, chickpeas, kidney beans, lentils, things like that. So those are real standard vegetarian sources of protein. And I will look for opportunities to add those into every recipe. So if I'm making a tomato sauce, I'll add in legumes. If I instead of buying like a vegetarian frozen burger at the grocery store, it is so easy to make your own. I have quite a few great recipes in my Plan to Eat database. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that database. You can also go to HolFit.com, and I have lots of my favorite plant-based recipes on there. So that would be my first choice is legumes, finding lots of recipes that use things like that. Secondly is tempeh. Tempeh, I'm going to type into the class chat the spelling of it, T-E-M-P-E-H. It's a fermented soy product, so it's like tofu, but it's been fermented, so it's much healthier for you. Buy an organic version because, again, anytime you're buying soy products, you want to buy organic. And you can cook tempeh up any way you would meat. So like tonight for dinner, we're having some brown rice noodles, and I made my own high protein tomato sauce. And what I did was I crumbled tempeh into a pan with some onion and fried that up. And then I added a whole bunch of vegetables, cauliflower, spinach. And because I have 2 young girls, I have to really micrograte everything down so they don't actually think they're eating vegetables. We're in that phase right now. So I do that. And then I add just store-bought organic tomato sauce. And I've made a really high protein sauce that could be put on anything really. And I'll post that recipe tomorrow on HolFit. So you have that. But that's most important. And then when it comes to healthy fats and proteins, nuts and seeds are really great to have throughout the day. Buy raw nuts and seeds so that you are not getting any processing there, and keep them in the fridge. And then healthy fats, super important. So healthy fats such as avocado, nuts and seeds, olives, coconut oil. You're vegan, so you wouldn't be having butter. So, those would be good things to stick throughout. You want them every meal. So have a teaspoon of healthy fats with every dish. And that's easy if you're sauteing things, just to add it into the veggies, because fats help all of the nutrients in the vegetables absorb in your body. So that's really important. Okay, so I hope that helps you out, Jenny. And again, I have lots of recipes on HolFit that you can try out. You mentioned that since you've removed meat protein, you felt so much better. So you're using hemp seeds, protein seeds. What are your thoughts on quinoa? Do you use it more as a carb source or a protein source? And where would I get tempeh? Okay, so quinoa is a great substitution. You can use it like you would rice. I'm sure most of you are familiar with quinoa. It's become pretty popular. Quinoa does have quite a bit of carbs as well. It has more carbs in it than it does protein. And that's the one caveat of vegetarian diets, is most protein sources are going to have equal amounts, if not double the amount of carbohydrates as they do protein. So beans, for example, are going to have 2 times, even 3 times the amount of carbs as they do protein, whereas something like an egg or an animal-based protein is really straight up protein, right? So this is where you can sometimes fall into that trap as a vegetarian or vegan, where you're gaining weight because you might throw all those black beans and stuff into a wrap, and now you're having way too many carbs in that one sitting. So, you've got to be conscious of that. I always recommend sauteing up a lot of greens when you're having your beans. The greens and beans are a great combination. But quinoa, yes, definitely you can use it. I wouldn't necessarily count it as a protein source, although there is protein in it for sure. And it is a complete protein, so it has all the amino acids. And then tempeh. Tempeh you'll find at any health food store or in the freezer aisle of your grocery store. All right, so I'm going to, Nicole asked a question here. Once you cook the beans, how long do they last in the fridge? Typically around 4 to 5 days, but you can put it into glass containers or Ziplocs and freeze them. Okay, so I will often do that, so I always have healthy beans on hand. All right, let's move to Jessica. And Jessica, I see you looking Beautiful on the webcam. If you want to go ahead and just talk through your mic, we'll see if I can hear you okay. Mm. Okay. Are you working in a full-time job right now and or are you a mother? Okay, cool. Wow. Yeah. And where are you enrolled for school? I thought you might be. Okay. I always know that school whenever I hear somebody say holistic health coach. Um, so that's a great school. I had looked into it when I first went through schooling. And the one thing I really like about INN is that they help you build a business or a website when you're done, which I think is really important. The very first thing and most important thing I would say is, do you have a blog? Great. Because one thing we all need to realize, regardless of what business we're in, is that we are our brand. We are a walking brand. And it's really important that you start to build a community that find you. Okay. So, like, when I first started back, um, this is about 5 years ago, I started my very first blog. It was called um, Swell Little Life, and it was a mommy blog. And I that was my first dabble into blogging, and I really got into it. It was such a cool community. There is nothing more powerful than mommy bloggers, let me tell you that. But that was a good intro for me. I met a lot of neat people, and it eventually evolved into a health blog. So then I started another blog called Health and Swell Being because it kind of spinned off of that Swell Little Life. And I put a lot of content out there for free. Um, Basically to just meet a lot of people online, and I knew my passion was in this industry and I wanted to build a community. So I would blog regularly. I would blog 1 to 2 times a week. There are bloggers that you guys are very familiar with, I'm sure, that blog every day. Sometimes that it works well. Some people have built a readership around blogging their meals every day and letting people into their life. I personally wasn't a fan of that. I committed to wanting to put content out as opposed to just quality or quantity. So you have to kind of think about that. But that is really important. You want to get a name out there for yourself well before you plan on starting your business, because then when you're ready to launch, you have a whole community that knows you, knows your approach, your style, who you are, and you have to think about all the different social media streams and ways that you can share your life with people to the point that you're comfortable. So you think about, I love Instagram. I don't know if you're all on Instagram, but I feel like Instagram is a really great way for people to really see who you are because you're telling your story through picture. So that I'm a big fan of that. Twitter and Facebook, they're kind of like, they're going in and out. People are frustrated with Facebook because now you have to actually pay for people to see your posts. So, I mean, and then Twitter, you're limited to a certain amount of characters, right? So, but you can think about how all these different streams can help to tell your story. And I think that's most important. I've always been really passionate about women and even specifically mothers, helping them put themselves first and realize the power that they have in their children's lives and their homes. So I always think about the mom. That would be my ideal client. So I would encourage you, Jessica, to think about who you want to serve and really target your posts around that. But yeah, just start putting that content out. A common question people have is, well, who's even going to read my stuff, or who cares what I have to say? But there's a whole community out there waiting for you. Okay, and you have something to bring the holistic health world that people in it right now don't do, so like I mentioned, my particular focus is mothers. So I think about putting out recipes that are really quick and nutrient dense. I think about programs that mothers who are isolated at home can take with me online. So think about that too. Do you see yourself having an online platform where you would want to be able to engage those people that are at home and can't necessarily make it out to a health center or to an office? Does that kind of help? I don't know how long is your program? Yeah. Yeah. I'll just speak quickly to that too. When you know you get that kind of gut feeling about a passion that you have, right? And it almost, you wouldn't think twice about staying up till 2 in the morning to start building content for your blog because you're so excited about that. And I am so guilty of that. I have spent so many late nights developing workshops and ebooks but I don't even, it doesn't even like, I don't feel like it's robbing me of anything. I get up the next morning, I feel great about life because I feel fulfilled. And so you're right. You've got to really think about your time and what you're investing your energy in and start to shift your priorities. There's always time within our calendars that we can start saying no to some things so we can make way for the things that really fulfill us. And you're kind of in that point right now. You obviously need to do things to make money, but there are probably people socially that you can start kind of saying no to more often and just to really start honing in on your passion. Awesome. Let's keep in touch. One thing I would mention you look into after you're done school. Have you heard of Marie Forleo? She, Google her name. She has a very popular program called B School. And it is basically, she created it to help people network in a powerful way. She has built such a community out there. So I would look up Marie Forleo's B School as something you could do, and it's all of it. It really helps you build your brand, build your website, network with people, and get your name out there. You're welcome. All right, Courtney, are you ready to rock? You know what? I can't hear you, Court. Let me see. Did you hit a mute button anywhere? Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna try muting you and then putting you back on. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's really faded. Um, oh, there we go. Okay, I can hear you now. Yeah, we're good to go. Okay. Yeah, you're good. Mm-hmm. Where do you live? Okay. So I'm not super familiar with all of the schools that the US have. That is definitely the one that always comes across my radar. Um, the things I really loved about that school, and Jessica, maybe you can kind of weigh in here because you're in the program, but I liked that it's set up to be done very well from distance ed. I believe they give you all of the course modules on an iPad, and it's very technologically advanced. In Canada, where I am, there's two schools that offer that are well known. The one that I took is the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition, and I did their distance ed program. But yeah, I would say INN is probably your best bet. Jessica, are there any cons that you've been facing with the school? Can you hear her, Courtney? Okay, Jessica, would you mind typing into the class chat your thoughts on the school if there's anything that you haven't been enjoying? And I'll repeat it so the rest of the group can hear after they watch the recording. Okay. Marie Forleo. I'm going to type her name into the class chat. Um, and she has a program called B School. And it's actually, I believe it's starting up again in the fall. She is amazing. She has tons, she does a weekly YouTube video, um, all for entrepreneurs, mostly focused on women and making money. So she's killing it online. I would definitely check her out. Did you have any other questions, Courtney, while we're waiting for Jessica's response? Court, you've frozen on us, my dear. I'm going to come back to you, Courtney. We've got, oh, yeah, you're kind of in and out. Your Wi-Fi signal's a little bit poor. So I'll have you type in your question to the group chat if you don't mind. Um, Great. And then we've got Liz from Hawaii. Hi, Liz. Hey, hey. Your connection's really good. I'm going to try taking you off mute. Liz, can you say hi? Let me see if I can hear you. Uh, oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Okay. Oh, good. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan of making a big batch of pancakes up on Sunday. So I do that and then I freeze a ton of them and I pop them in the toaster for the kids throughout the week and myself. I love pancakes. I love loading them with healthy stuff. So cool. Well, good. I'm glad you're enjoying the recipes. Thanks for joining us, Liz. And if you have any questions that come up while we're going here, feel free to type them into the group chat here. Yeah, you bet. Okay, Nicole, how's it going? Can you hear me? Okay, Nicole's typing in her class chat. And Nicole asked, I was just wondering how you stay motivated and consistent every day in your life with your health and taking care of your family. All right. Okay, so I guess going back a little bit for me, I'm a really big fan of identifying your why for when you do anything, right? So when it comes to your health, I would encourage you to think about why you're doing any of this, why you want to eat well, why you'd want to fit a workout in every day. My personal approach to health has always been longevity. So I lost my own father to cancer when I was really young. I was 10 years old, and then about 6 years later, my little sister died of leukemia. And I had these two big blows really early in my life, and it really impacted me and made me really see that our health and our life in general we just can't take for granted, right? Because these very cancer is knocking on all of our doors. I think the most recent statistics are actually 1 in 2 people. So 50% of us in this online class could potentially have cancer in our lifetime. So I really recognize how important it is to not take that for granted and to try to live your life 80% on the journey. I'm not I don't take myself so seriously that I let workouts and eating clean, for example, get in the way of having fun sometimes. But I do make a conscious effort to do my best in all of the health fronts. And so that really is my why. I think it has to be bigger and deeper than looking good in clothes. Once you have a taste of living healthy, and it does take a couple weeks, right? When you start to implement different habits, it takes at least 3 weeks, the experts tell us, to have something stick. But once you land on a good plan for yourself and it's something sustainable, you will fall in love with how you feel. And that's what really motivates you to keep it going. You know, on those days when you don't feel like you want to have a workout, or you don't, you feel like you don't have the energy to make healthy food, always come back to that place of, well, you know what it's going to do for you and how much better you're going to feel if you do commit to doing it. And sometimes that'll help carry you through. Sometimes it's just as important to live through a day or even a week of not eating well. And, you know, we've all gone on those trips or vacations where we've let ourselves kind of go, right? And we don't feel good. So it is really good sometimes to have those times where we kind of fall off the wagon and to connect with how we feel um, after making those choices. So that's really how I stay motivated. I think it's important to have a schedule and a routine so that that routine will help carry you on the days that you're not feeling it. So when it comes to workouts, for example, really important that you try to get that workout in at the same time every day, because you know research shows our body actually helps prepare its energy levels and hormonally for that workout if you have it every day at 9:30. So not only for your body's response rate, but for also there's better likelihood that you'll get it done if you have it at the same time every day. When it comes to eating, I generally eat the same things every day for breakfast and lunch. You know, I pick from a few different recipes, but I try to keep it really simple on myself. I commit every day to a daily smoothie and a daily salad. Okay, so every day for lunch, I have some kind of a big salad. I make the salad my meal, so that I'm getting a lot of greens in. And then I let dinner just happen. If I decide to take the kids out for pizza or whatever, I'm going to have pizza. You know, but I try to keep it really clean for those first 2 meals of the day, get my workout out in the morning, and that way I'm not having to think about it so much. So routine's really important when it comes to staying motivated, I find. Okay, good. And I just wanted to go back. I see that Jessica just gave a quick response about her school. I'm going to read this out for those of you that will be watching this after the recording is posted. So we're talking about Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and Jessica says she loves it. They're great at helping you to build a business, and there is a ton of support. It's distance learning, but you feel like you have a real community. So for anyone tuning into this that lives in the States, I'd encourage you to check out that school. I hear a lot of really great things about it. And anyone in Canada, I have a couple of friends who are going through it as well. I can connect you with. So you can look into it yourself. Okay, so thanks for your questions, guys. I wanted to leave you with your inspirACTION for September. And it's really basic. I've kind of been touching on it as we've been going here, but I want you all to, when we're done today, look at your calendar for September and I want you to scrub it. So by that, I mean, I want you to go through and I want you to delete and say no more. I want you to look at things and commitments and people that are not serving you on this journey. It is the start of a new season. It's exciting, and I want you to take back your calendars. I want you to own it. I want you to think about the particular aspects of wellness as well. So I want you to think about your workouts, reflect on how they've been going, have they not been going, and like I mentioned with the time frames, commit to a time that makes sense for you. Don't say you're going to get up every morning at 5 a.m. because that might not really be realistic. So think about a time that really works in your schedule and commit to it. Plug it in like you would a dental appointment. Plug those workouts in. I've said this before. I'm sure you've heard it through my Facebook page or whatever, but what gets scheduled gets done. So really commit to owning your calendar. Don't let other people run your life. When you think about yourself on the eating front, so something I've been doing lately and I have felt really good from doing is I have been fasting for 12 hours every day. So I'll have my dinner, and I might have a little bit of a snack after dinner, but I think back to, so if I had dinner at 6 and then I had a little snack at 8 o'clock, I don't eat my breakfast until at least 8 a.m. the next morning. So it helps your body to go into a little bit of a cleansing mode, because eating is a huge form of energy on the body, digestive energy being spent, metabolizing, breaking it down, eliminating. So you want to give your body a little bit of a rest, and this is a really great way to do that every day, is just to not rush yourself into breakfast the next morning, but actually wait for your hunger to kick in. So that might be something you play around with, but commit to some kind of eating. I mentioned I do a daily smoothie and a daily salad. So maybe that's something that resonates with you. You can commit to for September. Then we talk about the soul. So look at your calendar. Who are you spending the most time with? You are the result of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So think about who you're surrounding yourself with, and think about people that inspire you, that you could spend more time with. Take them out for tea. So really plan that in. Courtney, you spend the most time with kids. That's good. Hopefully they're nice kids. Um, are they your own kids? Okay. Hopefully you like your kids. That's good. And then the last aspect of wellness I want you to think about is sleep. So thinking about how your sleep's been going. You want to be in bed by about 11 o'clock most nights to help catch the really good hormone release. Now, I mentioned this when Jessica was talking. I said, there are nights where I will stay up sometimes till 1, sometimes 2 in the morning working on a really exciting project. I try not to make that the norm, but consistency is important with sleep. So become an old person for September. Think about getting in bed before 11 o'clock, rising earlier. You catch really good hormones when you get to bed before 11 o'clock. Think about your room. Do you have, is it somewhat cool? Do you have any lights in the room at all? Because that will impact the level of sleep that you can fall into. So get rid of those digital alarm clocks, put some socks on your feet. Maybe what you want to consider is a new wind down ritual. So thinking about 10 o'clock hits and you go in and have a nice skincare ritual for yourself, and do some journal writing, do a little bit of light yoga, meditate on the day. So thinking about those aspects of wellness, workouts, eating, your soul, and your sleep, and look at your calendar and scrub it and make sure that it's serving you on those fronts. That's my challenge to you guys for this month. I'm just going to address one question Liz had because she didn't have one when we went around here. In the group chat, she said, on your podcast, you talked about more interval training being important than steady state cardio. I get my workout through a 2-mile walk home from work uphill. Will that release those not so nice hormones? Okay, so I think by your question, you're asking, will this type of cardio, so walking home from work up a hill, will that release cortisol? So cortisol is a hormone, the stress hormone that we don't want to see, and that happens with long duration cardio. No, keep that walk happening. Walking is one of the best forms of exercise you can do for your body on a cardiovascular level. But what I would say, Liz, is bring your runners with you to work and run up that hill. So add in some intensity. Those bursts that get your heart rate pumping, that's what we're looking for. That's what stimulates human growth hormone in the body. That's what encourages what's called higher EPOC, so post-exercise oxygen consumption. And what that means is it takes your body calories to bring it back to homeostasis after your workout. So you're burning calories even after your workout, and that happens just through intervals. So bring your shoes, run that hill, and even better, I would encourage you to run every other minute for even 20 seconds as fast as you can go. So you can play around with those intervals, but that's a much better approach to exercise than just doing the walk. Although walking is still very good. So keep that going. All right, great questions, guys. So you guys are all welcome to join me next month again. I will be doing this series every month, probably at the start of the month. So you're welcome to come back in. I wanted to let you know about a few programs I have coming up if you're interested in joining me. Some of you have. I know I recognize some of you from the detox that I do and Eat Clean, Get Lean. But my fall detox will be running October 7th to the 13th with the kickoff webinar happening on Saturday, October the 5th. So I'll post the link to that if you're interested in doing that cleanse. And that is a guided cleanse that I do with the group. There's a Facebook group to support you through it. And it's basically juicing and smoothies and whole foods, a real whole foods approach to detoxing your body. And also the next Eat Clean, Get Lean series. So this is a 4-week nutrition and fitness series that I run. That is starting up October 20th and runs till November 13th. And the webinars are once a week, Sundays at 3 o'clock. So if you can join us for that, that'd be awesome. It's a really great program where you get the whole gamut of nutrition and fitness. So yeah, and I also just finished recording a back to school webinar. I'm not sure if any of you took that, but it's an ebook that for any of you parents will help you get ready for the school year. So my oldest starts school this week. I can't believe that already. All right. Awesome. Thanks for your feedback, guys. Courtney, yes, you can do this cleanse while nursing. So the only thing I would encourage you to do is start to build up a bit of a freezer stash of milk. It's not a concern of toxins being dumped into your breast milk. It's more of a concern of your supply going down a little bit because your calories will be a little bit lower during the cleanse. But yeah, you can totally do it while you're nursing. All right, guys, thanks for much joining. I will post this recording to the HolFit Facebook wall, as well as the links for some of my programs that I have coming up. But hope to chat with you soon. Thanks a lot. Okay, have a good weekend, guys.